You're listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
It is Wednesday, September 2nd. Why, you seem confused by that.
I don't know what day it is anymore.
No, it is Wednesday, September 2nd. Two great things on deck. We're going to talk with our Church of the Week. I'm so excited. We're heading to Nashville, Illinois, which is exciting. We're going to talk with our friends at Trinity Lutheran Church in Nashville, Illinois, KFUO Church of the Week this week. And we also had a chance earlier this morning to check in with Pastor Michael Meyer from LCMS Disaster Response with an update on the hurricane in the Gulf. So we're going to share that with you in just a little bit in the second half of the program today. Thanks to Concordia University, Wisconsin for supporting the Coffee Hour. Find out more about Concordia University, Wisconsin at cuw.edu.
Live uncommon.
Joining us this morning, Pastor James Miller from Trinity Lutheran Church in Nashville, Illinois, KFUO's Church of the Week. Pastor Miller, thanks for being our guest on the Coffee Hour today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
It's a delight to get to catch up with you and learn more about Trinity Lutheran Church in Nashville, Illinois. For listeners not familiar with Nashville, Illinois, can you point us to it? Give us tell us about the community of Nashville and where we'd find it.
Yeah, certainly. So I must admit, what was it, 3 years ago on call day when I was a young, fresh-faced seminarian, and they said, James Miller, Southern Illinois District, Trinity Lutheran Church, Nashville. I scratched my head. I said, where is that? But yes, we are right down Highway 64, Interstate 64, exit 50, about an hour into Illinois from St. Louis. We are in the Southern Illinois District. We are in Circuit 8 of the SID. And I'm trying to think of other big towns. We're north of Carbondale. You might know that. Definitely southeast of St. Louis. And Mount Vernon is a kind of a bigger town, but still many people don't know that place. But we are west of Mount Vernon, due west. And
so
Nashville itself. Sorry.
I was going to say, what do you love about Nashville? Tell us about the community. Yeah.
So we're kind of the quintessential small town, rural America. Nashville is the local metropolis, bragging 3,000 in population. And we are the county seat of Washington County. And I got to say, back when I grew up in northern Illinois, I'm from DeKalb, Illinois, county distinctions didn't mean much up there, closer to Chicago. But down here, counties are very important. And so we're very proud of our Washington County identity. And we're sometimes, especially with COVID restrictions, we're getting lumped into the Metro East, like St. Clair County, Belleville, and so on. But we are distinctly different. A lot of cornfields, of course, a lot of farmers in our church. Nashville itself has its own school system for Washington County. We draw from kind of the northwest. Actually, I think we draw from pretty much all of the county for the high school, at least. We have some other grade schools in the county. Nashville, we're very proud of our Nashville identity. We have our, the Chamber of Commerce, of which I am a member with our church. And we have various Nashville shirts that are sold around town. And we have a recent one since the pandemic of Nashville Proud.
How is Trinity connected to the community around you?
Yeah, so one of our biggest connections is our school. And since our establishment back in the late 1800s, like many of our sister churches in the Synod, we started a Lutheran school as well, originally Trinity Lutheran School. But in the 1970s, we saw our enrollment start to decline, as well as some of the other neighboring Lutheran schools. And so we joined in a partnership with our sister church, St. John's in New Minden, just north of us. And so now we have Trinity St. John Lutheran School ever since the late 70s. And so TSJ, as we call it, is a proud member of our community. We draw a lot from our churches, but also a lot from our community. We have a lot of Catholic students in our school, and we're glad to welcome everyone to share the love of Jesus from a Lutheran perspective.
Do you get to be a part of the team of leadership at the school?
Yeah. So one of our proud parts, things we're proud of, I'll put it that way, at our school is the the sheer number of hours in a week that students spend connected to the gospel. Like certainly, the gospel will influence all aspects of education, but when it comes to religion class, chapel service, morning prayer, devotions, I forget the exact number, but it's rather astounding. Before pandemic hit, we would have Monday morning prayer for the middle school students, junior high students. We would have morning devotions for the whole school. We have chapel on Wednesday. We have morning prayer on Friday. We have religion classes 5 days a week, and for the junior high students taught by pastors. So there's a lot of Jesus flowing through our school, and we're proud of it.
As a pastor, what do you love about being in a day school like that?
Well, let me start with another confession. Back when I was at seminary, on the preferences that they have students fill out, I did not want a parsonage, I did not want a Lutheran school, and I did not want to be near St. Louis. Well, here I am in a parsonage with a school near St. Louis, and boy, do I love all of it. So personally, I grew up in public schools, went to a public university, and my first Christian school was Concordia St. Louis. And so that very first day when Dr. Veltz opened our class in a prayer, like, what? Is this allowed? Oh yeah, this is a Lutheran school. I love it. And so in the intervening years, I've come around to the idea of Lutheran education. I have a whole tangent on that, but I am glad that we are being intentional about raising up young disciples, learning the gospel. I used to think that Lutheran schools were kind of like a monastery where we secluded our students, but seeing firsthand, man, our students are so connected to the community, be it sports and music, just living in the community. We're not cloistering them at all. We're teaching them the gospel and sending them out on a daily basis to be little Jesuses to their families, to their communities. And so I love that intentionality of the gospel and the connection to the community.
How does KFUO radio play a part in connecting to both your congregation and to the community around you?
Yeah. I would say, in a phrase, it is part of the fabric of our church. We have little snippets in our bulletin every week of upcoming programming and when the Lutheran Hour is being broadcast. We are sponsors of the station, and I hear time and again when it's in Bible study or just conversation, oh, Pastor, I heard on KFUO the other day, or I was listening to Thy Strong Word, and there was this great idea. It's just part of the fabric of our community here at Trinity.
Well, that's wonderful.
And personally, I must say I'm getting more connected to KFUO. I'm pretty busy during the day, so I can't afford to listen while I'm working on sermons or so on. But I really enjoy the sacred music in the overnight, and I'll listen to that while I'm eating breakfast. And my wife and I have a 18-month-old daughter. So we watch a lot of Sesame Street in Daniel Tiger's neighborhood at home. So I have a lot of other music running through my head. 1, 2, 3, 4 monsters walking across the floor. And so I wake up with those songs running through my head, and I'm glad to kind of reset, even though it's the morning, reset and start with some gospel music.
Amen. I'm glad to hear that KFUO is a part of your life as well as the members of Trinity Lutheran Church in Nashville. And we are so grateful for your partnership as KFUO Church of the Week this week. I know that originally you were planning some special events this week, but share with us, since things have changed due to the pandemic, we have just a little over 2 minutes left. Share with us, how have you been able to continue sharing the good gifts of God during this time?
Yeah, so back in March, when, at least for Illinois, we had the stay-at-home orders, we couldn't continue church services. So a lot of our local pastors, us including, we turned into televangelists overnight, recording our services just with our iPhones, and then posting them on our Facebook page. And then as time went on, we got some better microphones, got some a better tripod rather than just propping up the phone on a music stand. And done a little more in the post-production realm, putting lyrics on the screen, putting the readings on the screen. And so where we are right now, we have Wednesday service. That's another cool thing about our church. We have a regular year-round Wednesday night service. And so I will preach the sermon Wednesday night, lead a service with the following week's propers, record that service, edit it on Thursday, put it on DVD, burn it to DVD, copy it, and send out discs to our shut-ins and other local area people and organizations so they have materials to worship with on Sunday morning, the propers of that week. We also have a local radio station here in Nashville, WNSV, and we put out an abbreviated form of our worship service on the radio here in town. So we're getting the gospel out in ways we never thought we would, and man, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and I love it.
Thanks be to God for those good gifts, and I'm thankful that you're able to utilize all those. If our listeners haven't figured out, Pastor Miller has a background in radio too, so thanks be to God for those gifts that you can use those to continue to bring the good news to not only the saints of Trinity Lutheran Church in Nashville, but the surrounding community as well. We have just a few seconds left, Pastor. How can we learn more about Trinity Lutheran Church in Nashville, Illinois?
Well, I admit I'm a millennial, so I'm always Googling things and finding things on Facebook. And you can Google Trinity Lutheran Nashville, Illinois. We do have a website, but I'm blanking on the exact name of it, the URL. And we're also on Facebook. You can search Trinity Lutheran Nashville, and we stream our services, we post our recorded services, and we also have virtual Sunday school. So all sorts of resources to get connected to the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Very good, very good. I think that website is tlcnashville.org, if I remember correctly.
That sounds right.
Pastor James Miller from Trinity Lutheran Church in Nashville, Illinois, KFUO Church of the Week. Pastor Miller, thanks so much for being our guest on the Coffee Hour today.
Hey, Andy, Sarah, thank you so much. God's peace to you.
Coming up in just a little bit, we had a chance to talk with Pastor Michael Meyer of LCMS Disaster Response up next.